Okay, so we are playing some Hateful Place, or The Hateful Place as it would be, by Dave Mitchell. This is an RPG, very simple RPG, where essentially something has happened in the world that has caused a great darkness to fall for most of, typically 23 hours of the day. And during this darkness, it is very, very dangerous. Demons lurk, monsters everywhere. People try to stay inside and avoid any of the happenings that might happen. Happenings that might happen. That's an interesting way to say it. In this particular world, the darkness comes as more of a madness. At the crack of dawn every day, your eyes clear, the madness seeps away, and all is peaceful. But as the sun begins to crest the sky, slowly you hear screams in the distance, murders, theft, death, and people run for shelter. I'm not sure what causes the madness, but typically being inside helps prevent, though not always, for some houses have been opened back up the next morning to see someone in there has slaughtered their entire family or group. So even that doesn't necessarily give you safety. Sometimes you're forced to travel in the darkness, and you do. And as we open this story, our travelers, 5 of them in total, have been moving through a terrible, bleak desert seeking what could be a sanctuary. Rumors that there's a place, a walled-off town, where a nun that lived there fall victim to the darkness. Young woman that you met about a month ago was from that area. Went exploring to bring in new people, to bring them to the sanctuary. Sheila was her name. Fortunately, she was bit by a strange snake, and every few days she seems to fall into a coma for several hours, looking like she's dead. Maybe once or twice you almost buried her yourselves, but as it turns out, this morning, as you're in the inn, the sleeping quarters of the inn, where they make it to a common room for people to sleep at night, as the sun breaks and the innkeeper has seen Sheila's body looking dead, he's called out for the priests. Mordigan must take the dead. He is our god. That is what we give to him, he tells you, as he calls for the priests to remove Sheila's body, even though you're quite sure she's not dead. And as we kind of come into this, I will have you guys intro your characters, and then we can figure out exactly what's going to happen here. So, Nikki, tell us a little bit about your character.
Okay, you see a adult woman, red hair. One side of her face has a scar across one cheek. She's dressed all in black. Raised in an obscure religious sect, Isabella was taught magic in service to her goddess. Unfortunately, her life experiences have revealed to her the dark face of her goddess, the mother with blood on her face who eats her own children. Despite this, she is trying to find a way to a place of safety, where maybe she will see the other facets of her goddess again. For now, she fights with the dark goddess by her side, knowing the deity could demand the ultimate sacrifice at any moment. And that's Isabella the Believer.
Excellent. Tony, let us hear about your character.
The man standing there in these dark royal green and gold trim robes, he pulls down on these gauntlets that would look like they are metal gauntlets on his arms. Once you get closer, you can see them actually made out of leather, but they have a silver gleam to them. The green hood pulled up over his head. He's holding this long 6-foot staff in one hand on the ground. His face, no one sees, as you see this leather mask. It covers his face. It has the same silver gray, almost like a metal look to it. You see the eye slits and the nose slit for it. and he holds one hand up, that one gauntlet up, and he looks towards the innkeep and he goes, "What will it take as far as coin for you not to call the priest?"
I've already rung the bell. They're on the way. There's no stopping them now. Why? Why? What would you do with such a body? Are you necromancers? When he kind of
I am not a fool like you are. I am Coda the Failed. And I am playing Coda the Failed, the magician.
Excellent. Crystal.
I am playing Sister Hannah from the same village as that witch Isabella, but I worship the only true goddess, the goddess of the sun, Ravana, who gives all of her children the kiss of life to bring them up. And yes, we may be going through a bit of a storm now, but that is only so that the flowers can grow in the loving light of Ravana. And that is Sister Hannah who will step up to ensure this guard. No, you don't intend. Our friend here is not dead. She's only she just hasn't been feeling well as of late.
Not feeling well. She's pale and no pulse. She's cold. She's dead. Young.
There is one way to deal with such a creature. And you behead them, and you drive a stake through their heart, and you bury them deep in the earth, and then you burn them. Maybe not in that particular order. But that is how you ensure that the dead stay dead. Says the fighter type. He's actually a paladin. And I'm playing Abu Ahmed. Warrior.
Yeah, so the innkeeper looks at you and says,
"Yes, Abu, but this is our friend whom we don't want to die because she's leading us. Remember?"
That is true, but it is unnatural. I would say I would feel better if she were to stay at rest.
well, she will stay at rest inside the belly of the god when he consumes her. And the innkeeper reaches back and now more frantically rings the bell that he was ringing to call for the priests.
I'm going to reach over and grab his hand and stop him.
Oh, okay. Roll a d20. Try to get a 15.
17.
Okay, he's going to try to resist. And he gets 14, so he does not. So yeah, he grab his hand, he tries to like reach for the bell, and you're holding him so he can't do it. And he's like, do not defy the priest. Do not defy the priest. They will take you as well.
They will certainly try.
I do not think they have the power to do that. I've done told you once. Tell me how much coin it will take to satisfy your greed, and there will be no need for the priest.
It's not my greed. It's not my greed. The god will consume us all. That is the law.
I just hold his hand down to make sure he doesn't try to ring the bell again.
Yeah, he's unable to ring the bell again. But as this is all going on, the doors fly open, and in come these 5 men. They've got these like kind of long silver masks that look almost like skulls, but they go down really low, kind of to their chests. And they've got these like red robes that go all the way to the ground. You don't even see their feet. They're like shuffling with their hands kind of inside the front of it. And when they step in the room and they see there's they look around for the body, they pull their hands out, and you can see that they're wearing these like silver, like almost like mittens with claws on them. And they look around and they see that there's stuff going on, but they don't say anything. They just kind of start moving towards the dead body, Sheila, who of course is not dead.
I will stand in front of
Mr. Hannah
those.
will. Go ahead.
I will move to block the body and say, "You cannot take what the goddess has not yet given. You cannot take her yet. She is not dead, and she will come back to us."
Okay, so this guy swings his arm. Oh my god! Wild like this. Like make a. You can make a defense roll against it
Okay.
because he definitely.
Did Abu step in to block that too?
It's no. You can't have the attack either. It's magic. If you have a defense for that, otherwise
Is it a magic attack?
it begins considered magic. Yeah.
Okay, so +2, so that's 18.
Okay, so yeah, so he swings, think he's going to just brush you aside, and you basically you're able to resist it. Like you could tell, like even though he just went like this, like softly, like you would have gone flying because of the magical force behind it, but instead it just hit you, no damage or anything. You just he just whacks you, and you're able to withstand it. And he turns kind of startled towards you. More of them are moving towards the body, though. If you want to do something young, you certainly could do that. There's 5 of them in here.
I want to do something to the guy that just swung at Isabella when we can.
Okay, let's roll initiative then. Do it that way. Since you
My
said
God,
it,
let's go out with a bang.
Yeah.
start off strong. D6 for Tony.
A 3.
Okay, you go first.
I'm going to ram my staff down on the floor of this tavern and look at the guy that tried to, I guess it's a man, he's wearing a mask too. And I'm going to go, "You do not strike the helpless like that. In fact, you will never strike anything again. You will go blind." And I'm casting blind on him.
Nice. You are not messing around. All right.
And I rolled a 2, so thankfully I didn't go blind myself.
You don't go blind. Okay, so he gets the resistance roll against it, I would say, which he fails. You see him. He shrieks out. You figure effectively that the spell has taken place. Remember that you take 10 points of damage when you do that.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. He shrieks out, and you can see he seems a little confused, like it's probably worked. Okay. How about Isabella? Oh, okay.
Well, since they're attacking, I will try to take one with my dagger.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Oh no, that's a miss.
Okay. Yeah, so you swing at one of them with the dagger, the blind one, I guess, or it doesn't really matter. By the way, you would notice now as they're coming in that the 2 in the back, there's 5 of them. 2 in the back are carrying like what amounts to be a stretcher, and they kind of drop it. They're like holding it, and they basically drop it on the ground so you can see it's a stretcher, and they're going. They seem to be more or less ignoring you unless you're so far. The ones with the stretcher, they're moving towards the body. What about Coda?
Oh, I get to do something else?
No, I'm sorry. You already went. Sorry. I went out of order. Sistana.
All right. So, no, it won't work. Never mind. All right. So Hannah's just gonna step up and say, "Please, there's no need for this. Our friend is not dead. We have seen her, in this state before."
Okay, yeah. So you step in front of one and say that. It kind of like doesn't even really pause. It just walks past you. Tries to avoid touching her. It doesn't like push you or anything. It just kind of walks past you. It clearly heard you, but it does not listening. Abu.
He draws his scimitar and says, "You will no go further. I will slay you should you try to lay your hand upon her. If she should rise as a result of some necromantic curse, we will kill her naturally by beheading her, but we will not let her be sacrificed by your damned gods." And then if he approaches, then he's going to attack him.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. This creature's not stopping, or the priest, or whatever you want to call it.
Okay, yeah, he attacks. Is it 1d20?
It's a d20. You would add, so it's your AR, so you're a fighter type, right? So you
add 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think you get 2 on that, and if your body is high enough, you can get an additional 1 for that.
Yeah, I rolled 13 total.
Okay, so you get +2. You're trying to get a 15.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I rolled 11 plus 2 is 13 only.
Oh, I thought you meant 13 with your body. Okay. Yeah. So you swing at him and for whatever reason, maybe some trick of magic, the creature just moves uncannily quickly and misses. The other two that aren't engaged with you guys right now, now put her body into the stretcher, and they're getting ready to pick her up as we go into the second round. Oh, actually, yeah, these guys do not, even though you just attacked all, they're not attacking you back. They're basically ignoring you, and just trying to get around you. So even though it's technically their turn and they could attack you right now, they're not going to. So we go into the next round. Tony, might as well roll again.
All right. 6.
Oh, 2 again. Okay. Yeah. So you see now that 2 of them have rolled Sheila onto a stretcher and they've kind of picked her up. And they're going for the door. The blinded one, even though it's blind, it seems to like have a sense of where it is on some level, and it's just like turns and starts walking towards the door. And the other 2 that were attacked are kind of just like now also getting ready to leave. Like they're not. They're all kind of just still standing there in your vicinity, I'd say.
Coda will look at the rest of them and go, I guess we must follow them and prevent this.
That does seem like what we should do.
If you say that out loud, the innkeeper who's crunched behind the bar area, he's like, death will follow you. Do not do it. The god is powerful.
Hush, you fool.
I walk with death my whole life. I'm not afraid of death.
But
Yeah.
death may be
She
great,
has
but
walked
my
with
God is
death
greater. And he follows.
She has walked with death her whole life. However, the true goddess is one of life and will repel all death until time comes appropriate.
So you finish that, and like everybody's walked out the door now, following the priest, and you're standing there by yourself.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if you follow as well. I'm just kidding. So yeah, you can follow them, sure, if you want. I mean, they seem to be ignoring you. At one of them, the blinded one, switches places with one of the guys that's got the stretcher. You know, he's now at the back of the stretcher, so he doesn't have to see where he's going. He's just like carrying. And then so you've got like these 2 guys carrying the stretcher with Sheila, and then the other 3 are just kind of like they're kind of walking in the back in like a little bit of a semicircle, kind of, you know. They're aware that you might try to run up or something, so they're basically there to block you if you do. You get that sense anyways. And they seem to be walking deeper into the town. The innkeeper runs back out behind you and he says, do not leave until you've paid your bill.
Already offered payment to you once, you fool, and you wouldn't take it. I told you to name the corn and you wouldn't name it.
Well, I want payment for the night that you spent and the drinks that you drank and the food that you ate. Not for betraying the god.
Here, take the coin and be satisfied. He takes a huge handful of gold and just sprays at him.
Coda spits on the ground and keeps walking.
Okay. Yeah, he drops to the ground, not worrying too much about the spit, and starts picking up the gold. Yeah, I mean, they start walking towards this temple. And you can tell, this is now dawn is broken. So everybody's out, in the street, like literally markets set up quickly for the hour that can happen. And people are out kind of doing stuff. And as these priests are walking down, like people are just spreading, getting away from them as much as they can. You definitely can, like, following behind them, you can pick up, maybe you didn't notice it immediately because you were in the heat of it, but you can pick up this like stench of death on them as you kind of follow them deeper into the city. Is there anything else you want to do? Or are you just going to follow them?
Could we prevent them from taking her by attacking still?
You can do anything you want. There are basically 5 of them carrying her. You could charge at them if you want.
Oh, man.
That's up to you.
He looks at his fellows and says, I would like to stop them. What do you suggest?
I suggest we just wait till see where they're taking the body, and then we can talk to who's in charge there. These men are obviously, they're just, servants that don't know any better.
Do you not smell the death about them? There is something very wrong with these people.
I mean, they do go around collecting bodies, of course.
He looks to Coda.
Go ahead.
Abu says,
I think the sister is correct. We've tried violence and it had no effect on them. We'll just go and speak to the head priest or whatever they call themselves.
Very well. If you all agree to do so, then I will follow. Just let me know when you wish me to draw my sword.
No, I really think there's really no need for the drawing of swords.
I think you're far too naive. How have you survived this long, Sister Hannah?
By
Okay.
my blade, she has survived this long. I am honor bound to protect her.
And the goddess Ravana sends her blessings upon you, Paladin of Light.
He grumbles.
We're all
Excellent.
going to the same place in the end.
You may already be there. So yeah, you guys you follow this this funeral, procession as you've now created, or you've become part of, I should say. Through this town. You got in late last night, so you really didn't get to see much of this and what the town was all about. But it's a very tight, windy roads kind of coming through this town. And like I say, people are pulling open their windows and they're selling like breads and fruits and whatever else they have that they might, their wares. You can tell, like most towns, I mean, you've been around, that they set up, during this 1 hour that's peaceful, if you will. And then after that, usually close up shops. So everybody's frantically running around. But wherever they see the priest and you, because you're following, they immediately just like shut down. Like nobody's talking, like immediately quiet. They move to the sides. They bow their heads down. Some of them you see whisper like certain prayers, whatever. And as you're walking, you notice that on 2 other occasions, once in front of this group, and once behind you. So now you're like part of a train. Another like 5 more priests come each time, each bearing a body. So now it's kind of a procession of three bodies being brought, and you're kind of in the middle of it. They don't seem to be paying any attention to you. They're just doing their thing. They all look the same. They have these long masks and these robes that go to the ground, and these kind of like gloved hands that are kind of strange. As they kind of bring the body. And it takes a little bit, actually. This is probably a bigger town than you thought, or maybe they're bringing you around in circles. It's really hard to say because the roads are so windy. And even though the buildings aren't tall, they're so tight together that you have a hard time telling even what direction you're going in. It's almost kind of confusing by the time eventually you break out into this like large, like what you would imagine might be like the center of town. It's slightly, it's a bit of a basin, actually. And the ground there, you can actually see some remains, even though it hasn't rained in a few days and you're kind of in a very dry area. You can see some areas where there's pools, so probably the water pools in this area. And, there's maybe like 100-foot courtyard, if you will. And then there's these like solid black walls that are about 12 feet tall. And you can see that there's an entrance, like there's no door, there's just like an entrance in through, and they just keep walking right on through. So if you want to follow, I mean, that's up to you. But they seem to be going inside this area.
Does anyone have a torch?
I think I have one. I have. Oh nope, not this one. No torch.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to follow them, they actually, when you get past those walls, it just opens up to another courtyard. So you're still outside.
Oh, okay.
You basically pass through into another open area that's maybe like 50 feet deep, and in the center you see now what is very likely the building that you're heading towards, and it is again this like solid black, like almost like marble, but it's been so beaten by the sand that instead of being polished, it's kind of like been beaten down, so it's almost like lacks any kind of reflection. It's like a dark, almost doesn't really absorb the light, but it kind of is certainly not showing reflections like you would think like beautiful marble should. And yeah, there's a big entrance right in the side, and they just like motor right on, and then as you're looking forward, they're going to the dark. So now you might want to light a torch if you if you want to follow. I mean, it's up to you if you're going to follow. They have not been paying attention to you at all. And like I say, there's one group that you have not just interacted with that kind of got in front of the train. There's the group that you're kind of following, then there's you, and then there's another group behind you. So what's the plan?
If we stop and try to block the group behind us, do they just try to go around us?
Yeah, if you stop, the people just go around you. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, you would only know that by stopping. So you stopped, and they go around
Yeah,
you.
go
They
around
don't
me.
really.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem to be paying any mind. Like they couldn't care less that you're there. I mean, they just they go right past you and inside. You notice, it's outside. You're outside. It's very bright. It doesn't seem like there's any light in there. It looks completely, absolutely, totally dark inside. And they just walk right in like there's nothing.
What happens if you try to grab one of their masks off their face?
Well, they're right past you now.
They already passed me. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't stop, so.
Okay.
You can go ahead and try it if you want.
Only if everyone else is coming in.
But I'm wondering, you all kind of stopped. It's like, what are you doing?
We must go forward. We know Sheila is valuable to possibly have the answer to this plague. We have to try to protect her until she awakens again.
I agree with you. So I just don't have any kind of light.
I have no need of it either, so I hope Abu has something.
And then he just lights up the torch.
Of course, he has a torch.
Well, no matter what, we have the light of Ravonna to guide us always. And now we have this torch.
Okay, so you fire up a torch. You're standing in this like outer courtyard. There, you can still probably hear them walking. They weren't going tremendously fast, but in the time, it takes you a minute or so to pull your pack off and take a torch out and find the tinderbox and light it up. So you still hear some shuffling of feet in there, but they're a few minutes ahead of you inside. You can't see them at all. It's completely black in there. But you're standing out there with a torch. What do you want to do?
We have to follow them, right?
I think I hear them over there.
Walk, Abu.
Yeah, his armor clinks as he walks forward.
Okay, yeah. So you walk into this kind of dark place, and immediately the torch that should be shining bright and giving you reflection everywhere just kind of almost fades down to barely what you would think a candle should give in light. It seems to be like it's being swallowed by the darkness as you kind of step into this place, and you can barely see in front of you. Everybody that's around can see you, because you're holding it. But imagine if you were just holding a candle. Like that's about as bright as it is now. As you step into this hallway, and sure enough, as you said, your armor kind of clinks. You can hear your footsteps dragging and scraping. Every one of you, even if you're walking barefoot, you can actually hear the reflection of noise, as you walk, because it's such a empty space that's just solid stone around you. So as soon as you start walking in, it gets kind of dim, and then you kind of can't hear them anymore because you can only hear yourselves, basically.
Can we bring the candle down towards the floor and see if we can see footprints?
Sure.
Or any kind of directional?
Yeah, you can do that. So you bring the torch candle down. Go ahead, make a check. You can add mind to your roll.
Okay. Abu, let me look here see which way they went. Okay. 14.
You look down on the ground and you think that you see footsteps at first, but then as you're looking at it, you see that the shapes on the ground aren't the shapes of feet, but rather those terrible, hideous masks that you saw, like impressions of them all over the ground, as if they're a trail, and then it fades away and the ground's just black again.
Oh. Well, I don't know which way. Is there multiple ways to go, or?
You can't see any
Can't see
way to go.
anything.
Quite straight ahead. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of walk back and forth, to the various walls. It's about 20 feet wide. You can zigzag back and forth if you want. And from what you can tell, it just keeps going straight in. You're not sure how big the building was because you literally just walked right into it, so you have no idea. You didn't walk around it, so you don't know how big it is. But you know that the hallway doesn't seem to branch off at all.
Well,
And actually, the time that you stopped and looked, you would have heard again, because when you guys stopped moving, you could hear ahead of you moving.
they're still moving. So I'll just say to everybody, if the goddess is going to take me today, that's her choice. I say we must forge ahead if we're to save our guide.
Let us just be careful not to run into walls. And he leads the way.
If you run into the wall, it does 4 to 40 damage. Yes, you start moving forward, slowly, maybe stopping periodically to see if you can hear them. And maybe it's because it's so dark and you can't really get a feel for where you are. But it feels like you're walking for a long time. Like you're wondering like how long could this building possibly be? Maybe at some point you even turn back to look, kind of see how much progress you've made, figuring you could see the light behind you, and you see nothing. So either it's nighttime now, or it turned and you didn't realize it, or something, but you can't see the entrance anymore. It's just blackness behind you. And you can still hear them moving in front of you.
Let us just follow the sound.
I don't see any other option.
Yep, he walks and forges ahead.
Okay, so you move forward. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I should say following.
Yeah, nothing impedes you, and you're able to walk. And again, it feels like, I don't know, for some of you, maybe it feels like a minute. For others, it feels like an hour. But in any case, eventually your torch starts to like flick up a bit and get brighter. And you realize that you're stepping into like a large, kind of a large room. And you can tell that because the walls just like shoot out to the sides and like the you can't even see the ceiling, but not far in front of you, you see what looks like a table. And as you kind of hold the torch up to get the maximum amount of light, you can see that this table is huge. And it's got laying on it, like one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, are bodies. You can only see the first few, but you can tell that they can just go off into the distance.
Abu sniffs the air. Does he smell anything?
It smells like a rot and mold. And as you get if you get a little closer, you can see that some of these bodies are kind of old. And some look a little bit newer. When they'll say that maybe you're getting 10 feet of light max, but in a 10-foot area, you're seeing like at least 10 bodies, because they're stacked.
And there's no acolytes around?
Nope.
And we don't see Sheila's body?
Not here, no. I mean, the table goes much deeper into the room if you want to look further.
Beware. It seems like we've just come across the feast for a fell god.
We don't see Sheila's body anywhere?
Not on that first part of the table, no.
On the first part, okay. Can I head towards like the middle of the table?
You only have the one
it?
torch, right? So you're all kind of standing together, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely can do that. You start to move, further down the table, for a bit. This table is, it's almost like, although nothing looks the same, but you get this weird feeling like you're either moving tremendously slow or things are repeating themselves. Because again, this table is just way bigger than it should be. Like you can't imagine you've ever seen a table that's as big as this table, because you just keep moving down and further. There's more and more bodies in various states of rot. They're just all laid out here so perfectly in a line. And eventually, after what feels like forever, you get to what is basically the end, and you see Sheila's body like second from the end, sitting there, with the arms over there.
And there's no acolytes here either?
Nope, you don't see anybody.
Abu, pick up her body and I'll carry the torch and let's get out of here.
Abu carefully hands over the torch to Coda. And
as you hand over the torch, perfect time. As you go over the torch, you hear loud, clanky footsteps coming from the direction you came from.
Beware. It seems we're not alone here.
Yeah, and you can imagine that you have the only light in a very big dark room.
He draws his sword and he prepares to defend himself.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
Sister Hannah is going to grab her holy symbol, and she has her foot clutched to her chest, and she is saying prayers to Ravana.
I want to set the bodies on fire, all of them.
Could I grab Sheila's
fine.
body with one like sling it over one shoulder?
Once you have her
With a
body,
sword?
I want to burn the entire table.
What's your body score?
My body score is 14.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw it over your shoulder. You're going to be impeded, but I'm sure you can carry a person that way.
Sure, yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, yeah, so you throw her up over your shoulder. And you're going to burn the bodies with what?
I'm going to use fire. I'm going to burn the whole everything.
The fire spell?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so you cast the fire spell. Let's look that one up.
You know, and make it.
Nobody's afraid of the magic anymore. Now we're playing this enough times. That's good.
Well,
All
if
right.
those bodies are food for something, I'm going to starve it. So.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like it. Fire. The madman smell of colors. The fire is both ender and creator of wars. The caster create fire covering 1 mile. Oh no, you can't control the space of this. This covers 1 mile. Yep, covering 1 mile. It's not like the ice where it's up to.
Oh, okay.
Caster can create fire covering 1 mile. Also, I'll give you a chance to be able to control it if you want, and just burn those. But if you're going to do that, then it's going to be a 2 in 6 chance of you dying or burning. You won't necessarily die instead of a 1 in 6.
No, it would have been cool, but yeah, no, I had the mistaken impression I could like just set the table on fire. So.
Well, no, you can do it. You can do it. You'll just have a 2 in 6 chance of burning to death instead of a 1 in 6.
Okay.
Don't be tempted by Daniel. Don't be tempted.
Yeah, but also,
I mean, it's epic. Yep, go ahead.
No, I won't say nothing because you need to read that complete spell because.
I can use fireball as weapon. I just saw that.
Well, no, before that, a few words before that.
Anyone caught within the fire radius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
if you fail the spell, you'll kill everybody. Yeah, so basically you can do it, but no, I'm going to say you can control it to not kill everybody. But if you do that, then because normally, basically, the way the spell goes off is it burns an entire mile. But if you want to try to control it, then you'll have more of a risk of burning yourself up. Everybody else in the party should be peaceful. Yeah.
So if I just burn myself up, then I'm going to do it. Why not?
All right, so you're going to burn the bodies. Now, of course, you don't know how big the table is. So what we'll do is you can either just tell me how big of an area you want to burn up, or you can make some kind of a mind roll. And if you make the mind roll, then if you fail the mind roll, then you overshoot and might kill everybody.
Oh, Daniel just went all frozen robot for me.
Yeah, you went frozen.
Yeah.
Oh man, just when I was getting dangerous. Okay, so here's a final thing. I feel like let's make a deal. So since you can't see the whole table, I'll say you can either pick an area. You can be like, 100 square feet, whatever, or you can make a mind roll. And if you get the mind roll correct, then you burn exactly the whole table, and it's awesome and done, and you just saved the world. But if you fail that mind roll, then you overshoot it, and you might kill the party.
Oh, okay.
Good deal.
Yeah, right. Oh, so I don't want to kill everyone, and then you guys never invite me back. Let's see.
Abu looks at Isabella as
I promise
he's
you
like
that if you manage to destroy the entire temple and kill all of them in the process, you'd be welcome to any game of mine ever.
I mean, whether if you kill us or not, you're always welcomed at our table, of course. But anyway, Abu looks at Isabella and says, "Oh no, you're trying to do something again."
I certainly am. I said, I spent a lot of time in the company of death.
Well,
All right,
do
I'm gonna
tell
make
us
this
what
mind
you.
roll. You guys.
No, do tell us what you intend.
I'm going to try to burn this table and all these accursed bodies.
Maybe we.
Just a moment, please. Before you do that and jeopardize all of us, you must let me do something first to Abu. Abu, you will be protected and you will be safe and you can take Sheila out of here. And I'm going to reach and grab Abu by the shoulder and he will start just shaking and shimmering. And as I cast protect on him, caster protects target for 5 rounds. So in case she blows all of us up, he'll be protected.
Yeah, you will be.
Oh,
All right.
Not Sheila though, but it's okay.
thank you, Coda. But let us try to get out of here. We have the body of Sheila.
Oh, it's done now. So you lose 10 more hit points, Tony.
Yep, I know. I'm getting.
And
I'm
I will
watching.
I'll lose 10. I rolled a 4 on my d6, so don't think I'll burn up. But let me.
While protect is up, he takes double.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I'm dead. I'm dead regardless.
Well, yeah, probably.
Oh, okay, Daniel. I rolled a 15 for that mind roll.
Okay, all right. So in an epic, perfect moment, Isabel casts forth a spell, and you see this like perfect rectangle engulf the table, and these bodies just incinerate. And in the incredible glare, because I mean you're standing in the darkness, and also you see all this fire, so everybody's kind of blinded for a second. But you see what looks to be about 4 men. They did not necessarily look at the priests. They kind of hit the ground when that all happens. Like they weren't on the table clearly, but they were coming towards you, so they dropped to the ground. And everybody's kind of like stunned for a second. So there's still a 1 in 6 chance that you go blind. Though, did you roll that one?
Oh yeah, no, I haven't rolled that one.
Yeah.
And we didn't take any damage, right?
Nope.
Okay, good.
I rolled a 4 on that one.
Okay, so you don't go blind.
Oh my
That was
God.
the most perfect execution. No, very good.
Oh my God.
So that all happens. You hear suddenly these people. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No,
You hear a voice from down the table, and they say, "Watch out! A powerful wizard!" And then you hear them start to scamper. They seem to be running.
Well, we want to get out of here with Sheila, right?
Yeah.
And I hope Abu took off because I told him to take off.
So Abu, you going to run the way you came, so towards these 4 or 5 people, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean he's running towards the place that he came from, and I guess obviously with the light on, he's able to see better, right?
Yeah. You guys see basically this like little glimmer, of the candle running, with Abu running in front of you, and you're all being left into the darkness. And you hear that.
He shouts, "Come on, follow me. Let's get out of here."
Yeah, we can run after him. All the bodies are gone now, though, right? So
as far as you can tell, everybody's been destroyed.
Okay.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
except for one.
Except for one. Yeah, that was pretty epic. So you're running to the edge of this table. It's huge, right? So you run past the table. Abu, you're slightly ahead of everybody else. Although they're probably catching up because none of them wearing armor or carrying somebody. And when you kind of pass the table, the torchlight glimmers off 5 silver masks as 5 priests are standing there in front of you, blocking the way.
He draws sword and attacks him.
Oh, okay. Roll initiative. D6.
2.
All right, they got a 4. All right, so you come at them with a sword, and nobody's there but you. So I'll say 2 of them are going to step forward and try to disarm you. First one misses. Ooh, second one got an 18. So you need to make a defense roll now. So you won't get any bonus because you're holding Sheila. So you got to make a 15.
Ooh, 10.
Okay, so 2 of them come at you. One kind of comes at you and you dodge back, and the other one, these things are like inhumanly fast, comes up behind you and takes the scimitar from you. So he's disarmed you, and now they're standing in front. Again, the 5 of them are blocked in the way. One of them is holding your scimitar, and the rest of the party arrives. What do you want to do?
Oh. They're attacking him?
They took his sword. Yeah. Oh, everybody make a mind roll. Or just roll it out in your mind.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
so glad I didn't
man.
roll that before. 3.
Yep, I failed.
We're trying to roll under on D20, right?
No. So the way they do any roll in this is you're always trying to get a 15. That's literally the entire game.
Oh, okay.
So roll and then add any mind score if you have it. So if you have a mind of 16 or better, I think it is. You get a bonus.
Yep. Fail.
I fail.
Anna?
And was I supposed to add anything yet? It didn't matter. I failed.
Oh, you failed too? The mind roll? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. No, nothing. So basically, there's these 5 guys standing there in front of you. One of them is holding Abu's scimitar. They're kind of standing in your way.
And they're not saying anything. They don't make any type of.
They don't say anything.
What happens if we
You
just try to push past them?
You want to try to get past them? Okay. What were you going to ask me?
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. I was going to tell Abu, just let's walk through them.
They just took my sword. I don't
buy
think they
another
will let
one.
us. I don't think they will let us pass.
We'll buy another
Right.
sword in the next town. Just keep walking.
They took his sword. All right, if he'll walk through them, Hannah will cast protect on Abu.
Well, he already has
Please.
protect on. Yeah, you should be good for the couple turns anyways.
Okay. So on
After 5 turns, I think, right?
Yeah, 5
5
rounds.
okay.
Protect.
5 rounds. But yeah, I mean, I'll say it's still probably good.
Yeah. Abu nods and then tries to proceed.
Okay, so you boldly step forward to these creatures holding your scimitar, being protected by the magic that you are. They don't move for you, but you kind of shoulder past them, and they don't stop you.
Yeah, he continues on. And grumbles about losing his scimitar.
Is everybody walking through?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll try
yeah.
to walk through them.
Yeah.
Okay, only Abu has the spell on him now, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, they don't stop you. You walk through. They kind of are still standing there. And after maybe you walk about 50 feet or so, you hear like the clang of like a sword, the scimitar being dropped to the ground. But you just keep walking, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And you walk out into the bright light.
So it's still daylight.
You're in that courtyard, holding Sheila, who is still knocked out.
Okay. We will continue on and return to the tavern.
No, I'm not going back to that awful place.
No.
The fool will call the acolytes again. What do you think?
Well, Koda, what do you suggest that we do then?
We leave. We leave this godforsaken village.
I could do that.
You hear, as you're having this conversation from that outer wall part, you guys are walking. You hear a voice, and they step in front of you. These 4 men, not priests. They're just men, from what you can say. And one of them is quite old. He says to you, "That sounds like a good idea. You destroyed the gods' food. You are quite powerful. Perhaps we could join you. We are wanderers, and our friend was taken, and we went to get her back. But unfortunately, they must have been destroyed in the fire. But she was dead, so I guess that's fine. We were just going to bury her because that's what our tradition calls for."
I do not trust them, Koda.
You can follow at your own risk. I have no qualm about it.
Well, perhaps we could help carry the body.
No.
Nope.
I will carry the body.
We are very strong, and you look like you've gone through a lot.
Why do you want to carry the body? Why do you insist?
No. Why do you want to carry the body?
Because she is with us. Now step aside. Otherwise, you will find trouble. Unless you want to burn up like the rest of those food for the god, I suggest you turn back and step away.
We want no trouble here. And they kind of back off.
I think it's best if we go our separate ways then.
Abu continues past them, and with his free hand now clutching the hilt of his dagger, walks past them.
Okay. Yeah, you all walk past, and then they lunge at you. Roll initiative, Crystal. Ooh, they got a 5.
1.
Oh, okay. So yeah, these men all draw daggers and try to stab at you as you go by, and they say, "We'll take 4 bodies then." No, they can't. They know how to count. We'll take 5 bodies instead of 1. Then. So the first guy's going to try to stab at Isabel.
Okay.
Misses. Second one at Coda. Ooh, misses. Oh, these guys aren't very good. Okay. Third at Sister Hannah. Oh, 14, close. And Abu. Oh, nope. So they all leap out with daggers and they all just wildly miss. It's your turn. So, Isabel.
Since they attacked me, I will try to stab them back. Stab, not burn.
What are you going to cast at once, right?
Oh gosh, that's a good roll. 15 plus. I don't get any plus, so just 15.
15's all you need. All right, let's see if you can dodge it. Oh, 15, he dodges it actually.
Okay.
Okay, Coda.
On the storm spell, can you it says can create a storm up to 1 mile in radius.
Yep.
Can I create it just on them without any of us?
I mean, you're all kind of intermingled. I'll say that you could try to capture 2 of them at the most. But otherwise, you're risking getting people in your party. You can try to get all 4, but if you do that, then there's a risk that you hit other people.
Oh no, I'm smart enough to know better, Ben. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to walk up to one of them and just knock the fire out of them with my staff.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the storm. Damn it. Okay, go for it.
I'll miss pretty bad.
Okay. How about Hannah, Sister Hannah?
So same question about the storm thing, but with freeze.
Yeah, freeze you can control.
So I could do like all 4 of them without endangering.
No, at this point you can get in only a single one without taking a chance on hitting somebody else.
Okay. Is that protect still up on
No.
Okay. That's good then. All right. Then she grabs her holy symbol and pulls a hidden dagger from it and tries to stab the guy that's trying to stab her.
Okay, cool. Do it.
No, failed.
Okay.
She just screams wildly and just like waves it just frantically in the air.
Okay, how about Abu? You got a guy on you.
Okay, Abu ducks down and lets the body of Sheila on the ground because obviously he can't really fight effectively like that. And then with that one motion, he's gonna slice upward across. And with a roll of 4, he's not gonna hit a damn thing.
Okay, so since I didn't decide who was on who, everybody just roll a d20 and let me know what you get.
Now I get a high roll, 19.
Well, that's very good though.
10.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Oh, 10 it is. Okay, so you're on. The older man is on you. Isabel, probably seeing your magical prowess, and he reaches out his hand and speaks some words, and he is actually casting a spell on you. He is going to cast freeze. So you will take 10d20 damage. Do you want to roll your own damage?
Sure.
Hannah will.
Do
Did you
they
say
get a?
10d20? Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm dead, essentially.
We don't get a damage resistance roll.
No.
Can I cast Protect on her?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just getting out my calculator here so I can. I'm gonna be epically dead, like the worst kind.
You gotta totally narrate it for us.
Yeah, but this is why you have to know the amount. It's important. Oh my god. And when you narrate that, once you get your damage, make sure you also factor in how this guy also freezes because he rolled a 1.
Okay, 168 points of damage. So
All
I'm
right.
trying to swing with my
Are
dagger.
you still up?
Yes, no, obviously. Yes, I'm a magic believer. No, all right. So 168 points. Wow. So this is like almost like the liquid nitrogen, and just kind of coats my body with a kind of horror frost, and then as he, before he can freeze, he smashes me on the head, and I just burst into several little pieces of frozen flesh and blood, and like a tinkling rain just collapses, and as he hits me, he also freezes and collapses into just a pile of chunks of frozen flesh and blood and viscera.
And in
Yeah.
the background, we hear Disney's "Let It Go" play.
Right? Cold never bothered me anyway.
Until right now.
Right?
All right.
So I am now up in pieces. Isabella is in pieces and is meeting
Isabella
her goddess.
Yep. Okay. All right. So on Coda, your guy is a little freaked out by the fact that his master just like turned into an ice cube, but he's in the middle of combat with you, so he's gonna try to stab you one more time. But he misses. On Sister Hannah, same thing. Misses. Wow, these guys suck. And then Abu, 15. So make a defense roll. Abu.
Oh, so I was saying, Paladin gets a bonus of 4 for the defense roll, and I rolled 13, so that's,
Well, that's
17 total.
That's fantastic. That's actually really good. 4 against everybody, or just 4 against?
4 against everything for all defense rolls.
Nice. All right, then you made it. So you block it. The guy comes in with a good stab, but you're just, the gods are with you, and you're able to block it. And yeah, so 3-on-3 now. We're even fight. I guess next round. Abu, go ahead and roll initiative. These guys are not running in.
5.
I think I had 2. So go ahead.
Okay, so he's gonna grab the guy that was attacking him and then pull him close and slash him across the throat with his dagger. And he does. He makes it.
Okay, let me see if they resist. Nope. So you got him 4d10 damage.
All right, I'm just gonna use the online roller, and he does 32 points of damage.
Nice. Okay, you slash deeply into this guy. He's barely standing. As you should be when you take 32 points of damage. And on to Coda. There's a guy on you as well.
He's had enough of these fools. He's going to reach out with his gauntleted hand and grab this guy around the throat and try to choke him to death.
Nice.
Hey, and that 20, hot dog. That is going to
What did
be.
we say? Crits do double damage, right?
Oh, does it?
Yeah, didn't we say that?
Ooh.
No, we're going
I
to
thought
say
we decided to make it 40-20. Because we
40, 20,
said, like,
yeah.
just
It's
go all
40,
out with
20?
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me see if
wow.
he resists. Let me see if he resists first. So before you roll, he does not. Okay, give me 40, 20.
20.
Yep.
Come on, baby. I'm fixing to choke this guy. And I'm going to do him like the Undertaker. I'm going to choke him down like they will in a wrestling match.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, God. A couple horrible rolls. Let's see. 18 is 36, 44, 50 exactly.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's dead. You took him out. You want to narrate that?
Yeah, exactly. I reach around the throat and I grab him, and usually he talks deep voice, but he whispers in this guy's ear and he goes, "You are a fool, much like the bartender. He pissed me off royally, but I'm taking it out on you." And I just choke the life out of him and just break his windpipe.
Nice. You hear him, and he goes limp in your arms. Sister Hannah.
Sister Hannah is attempting to stab the guy that's stabbing at her again. And I'm doing 19 this time.
Nice. Let me see if he defends. He does not. So do 10 damage.
And that is a total of 26 damage.
Nice. He's still up, barely. As we come into
Like she reaches in with the dagger like half-heartedly and like stabs him, and like she fills the knife, and like as she pulls and she sees the blood on her blade, like her eyes just go wide. Like she's obviously never, done anything like that before.
Okay, awesome. Okay, next round. Roll initiative, Young. They got a 3.
4.
Okay. So there's one on you, barely standing. He's like, he got his dagger, and he's like, trying to find an opening.
Yeah, last round he slashed the guy across the throat. Now he's just going to headbutt him. And that is a 16.
All right, let me see who blocks it. He does not.
Okay. And he delivers a nuclear headbutt.
Nice. All right, 40
Hold on. And he does 35 points of damage on him.
Yes, you grab him and you go swoosh, and then his whole front of his head collapses in, and he dies clearly. Back around to Coda. There's only one guy standing. He's currently got his blade out trying to attack Sister Hannah.
Coda is going to, knowing that the sister's got whatever protection she has, he's just going to ignore that and walk over and make sure nobody's trying to get the body of Sheila, and stand there by her.
No, yeah, nobody's doing that. You actually do see, I would imagine, since you're looking specifically, you do see the priests are standing, kind of watching at a distance.
But they're not coming our way. How many are there?
There's 5 of them, but they're standing a good 20 feet away. They don't seem to be.
If they start to move this way, I'm going to do something to them.
Okay, yeah, they're not moving. They're standing about 20 feet away, watching. Anna, you got one on you. You're muted if you're trying to talk.
Oh yeah, she's still trying to defend herself, so she takes another stab and hits with a 16.
Okay, let me see if he blocks it. That one he blocked. So you swing out with your weapon and he blocks it, and he's going to attack you. He's the only one left. He misses. Okay, next round. It's on you, so you might as well roll initiative, Crystal. D6. He got 2. All right, go ahead.
So I'll see if I hit him this time. Nope, 10. So I miss him.
What about Abu?
Abu, seeing that Sister Hannah is being attacked, he rushes over. What sort of weapon were they using?
Dagger.
Okay.
Like one of those curvy cultist daggers.
Yeah, he's going to grab the dagger that he dropped, and he's wielding 2 daggers at the same time. He's going to lunge at him and jump up in the air, probably about a foot or so only, and come down on him. Okay. And with a roll of 9, he's not going to do a damn thing.
No. You're like, oh, no, all right, that was a bad idea.
The armor is too heavy.
Exactly, how about Coda?
He's just still watching Sheila, sitting there watching those priests.
Okay, the priests aren't moving. They're staying there. So now this guy's going to try to stab into Sister Hannah. He says, I'll have you for dinner. And he rolls a 4. So he misses. So he's not having anybody for dinner. He's likely going to die now. Go ahead and roll initiative, Crystal. Oh, we got 6.
Oh, really? I got a 5.
All right, he's going to try to stab you. Misses. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to try and stab him back. 19.
Nice. Let me see if he defends. He does not.
31 damage.
I love that. Yeah, you got him. Go ahead, you can describe if you want.
Okay, so he says that, and he lunges at her, and as he does, he puts it in the perfect position that she's able to drive this dagger up into his gut and get up under his rib cage, and she just hears the sickening crunch, and she restrains herself as she says, "I'm afraid you will have no dinner tonight." And she pulls the dagger out, and he falls to the ground dead, and she's just shaking and trying to keep herself all together.
Nice. Right about that time, as you're kind of watching that go on, Coda, Sheila starts to cough, and she's looking around like she's confused as to where she is, and then the priestess, Hannah, nun, jams and kills this guy, and you hear the voice of the priests that you've been watching, and one of them says, it's hard to say which one is talking because they all have masks on. You have taken the gods' food. You will leave these 3 for us and go now.
Talking about the 3 that we just killed?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you would imagine. There's 3 dead people there.
Yeah, I'll grab Sheila up, and help her up. And
yeah, she's a little unsteady on her feet, but she's definitely awake.
Yeah, and I'll just tell her, I'll explain later what is going on. Just come now. And he'll turn back towards Hannah and Abu and say, we're leaving this God-forsaken town. Let them have their God and they're dead.
Okay. Does anybody else want to do anything but leave?
As Coda leaves, Abu goes up there and picks up a little clump of Isabella and says, your sacrifice shall not be forgotten. And then he holds that and follows Coda out.
Yeah, you feel the cool sense as the cool water drip down your hand as Isabella melts as you walk away into the sunrise, I guess. Not sunset. Probably not looking back, but you can. Yep. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Just do my. Would you do my outro last, please?
Okay. So as you're walking off into the desert, being hoping that Sheila's kind of coming back to her senses, you start moving off towards the direction that you were heading before she went down, passed out. Let's see, how does this end for Coda?
We continue our journey, and as we continue, and Coda heals himself back up from the damages of these spells. He goes back by himself later on, maybe even months down the road. He goes back to the outskirts of that town, and he keeps his eye on that tavern they were at, that inn, and he sees the innkeeper come out, step out in the street, maybe talking to somebody. He goes, "Vengeance is mine, saith the failed." And I cast Storm in that whole tavern in that area of that street. And I'm going to call, let's see, 18, 20, I should see how much they take. 16, 27, 42, 43, 52, 62 damage
Oh yeah.
on everybody out in the street.
Yeah, Storm rips through the town, killing, dozens of people, including this guy. You have to roll a 1 in 6 chance to see if you get slammed around by it.
Oh, a 6. Ooh.
Okay, yeah. So somehow you're standing there in the midst of this, in the eye of the hurricane, basically, as it rips past, killing people. And as the storm fades, you hear bells start to ring, ding, ding, and priests start to move to collect the
Yep.
dead.
And Coda turns around and walks off, and he just goes to himself, "Some things I do not fail at." And that's how it ends for Coda, the failed, the magician.
Nice. How about Abu? How does it end for Abu?
Abu, after traveling with Sister Hannah and Koda for a little while, takes that little chunk of Isabella, and eventually, when he reaches the destination that they're traveling to, he finds a little nice little green spot and buries it and says a prayer for Isabella. And he says, "You may have saved us all. Thank you." And then you see him walk off into the sunset.
Nice. Isabella, in your afterlife, what happens if there is one?
There is one. I meet my goddess and finally see her her light face instead of the mother who eats her own children. She is the welcoming mother who welcomes me finally into the light after a pretty tortured life. So it ends pretty happily for her, despite the fact that she's melting flesh in a courtyard somewhere. She finally gets to meet her goddess.
Excellent, excellent. And Sister Hannah?
We're in like a desert, right?
You are right now, yeah.
Okay, this free spell. If I were to use it, say, like on that dark temple, could I potentially like freeze the temple itself and cause it to like melt or shatter?
If that's what you want to say and you're after, sure, why not?
And that's what she wants to do then. After the storm is cast by failed, she will say, like as she shakes and stuff, she says, "Yes, never let this place see the light of day again, or Ivana, cast your judgment upon them." And she's gonna just like freeze out that entire building and kill anyone who's inside of it, and hopefully it shatters or melts or something.
Excellent. Roll a d6.
Oh my god, and she freezes herself in the process.
Excellent. Awesome. Well done. It's always good to kill yourself with magic. So this excellent. This was The Hateful Place, David Mitchell. This was based on kind of roughly, although, the story The Charnel God by Clark Ashton Smith, which is a very cool story. You guys, of course, did much differently than the story in the book, of course, as always. But that was really fun. Thanks for playing. And we'll stop the stream there.